Okay, I'm walking up to the bus to give it an overall look. I'm looking at this bus, see if it's leaning left or right to indicate a flat tire or a broken spring. I'm also looking underneath it to see if there's any fluids such as coolant, oil, or transmission fluid. Also, I'm looking the whole bus over. I'm looking at the student lights, making sure that they're not discolored or broken. The clearance lights, making sure that they're not discolored or broken. Turn signals, headlights, I'm looking those over, make sure that they're not broken. I'm also looking the windshield over, making sure that the windshield's not cracked, that it's not excessive dirty. I'm looking the mirrors, checking them, making sure that they're not cracked, making sure that the mounts are mounted secure on the bus. I'm also looking at the walking gate, making sure that the walking gate is fastened secure on the bus. I'm going to raise the hood up. Then I'm going to begin right here at the front because you can't see on the other side. I'm looking at the alternator, making sure that it's secure. I'm looking at the fan belt, making sure that it's not frailed or anything to maybe cause a broken belt. I'm looking at the fan, making sure that it's not cracked and it's on securely. I'm looking at the water pump, making sure that the water pump is not leaking. I'm looking at the windshield wiper fluid, making sure that it's full. Now I'll go to the other side. On this side, I'm going to check my transmission, my oil, my power steering level, and my coolant level, making sure all these are full. Then I'm going to check my air compressor, make sure that my air compressor is fastened securely and the air hoses are not leaking. This air compressor is gear driven. I'm checking my steering box, making sure that it's secure and not leaking. I'm checking my steering linkage, making sure that the knuckles are not loose. I'm checking my air hose, making sure that it's not leaking. Checking my air chamber, making sure that it's fastened securely and not dented. Checking my slack adjuster, making sure that my slack adjuster is not more than 1 inch of slack in it. Checking my brake drums, making sure it's not cracked. I'm checking my brake pads, make sure I got plenty of pads on it. I'm checking my springs, making sure they're not cracked. My spring mounts, making sure that they're secure. Checking my shock absorber, making sure that it's not dented and leaking. I'm checking my tire, making sure that I got at least 4/32 on the front. Checking, making sure that there's no cuts and properly inflated. I'm checking my rims, making sure that it's not cracked. Checking my lug nuts to make sure that they're not loose. Rust would indicate looseness. I'm checking my hub seal, making sure that it's not leaking. I'm checking my battery, making sure that my battery is fastened secure and not corroded. I'm checking my fuses and making sure that they're not any that's burnt. I'm checking my stop arm, making sure that it's fastened securely and that the stop and the red is all bright like it's supposed to be. Checking my turn signal. Also, I'm checking under the bus. I'm checking the spring or the frame, making sure that the frame is not cracked or welded, illegal welds. I'm checking the drive line to make sure that it's fastened secure. And I'm checking my exhaust to make sure that it's fastened secure. There's no smut coming out on it to indicate leaks. I'm checking my emergency exits, making sure that they're secure. I'm checking my spring and spring mounts, making sure that they're secure, not cracked or broken. This one's an air ride, so I'm checking the airbag, make sure that it's okay. I'm checking my shock, making sure that my shock is fastened secure. I'm checking my air line, making sure that it's not leaking. I'm checking my air chamber, making sure that it's not dented or loose. I'm checking my slack adjuster, making sure that there's not more than 1 inch of slack in my slack adjuster. I'm checking my brake drums, making sure that they're not cracked. And I'm checking my brake pads, making sure that they're not worn. I'm checking my tires on the rear, making sure that there's at least 2/32 of tread depth, and checking and making sure that there's no cuts and properly inflated. I also checking betwixt my duals to make sure that there's no debris. This is got bud wheels on it, so it don't have spacers betwixt it. I'm checking my rims to make sure that there's no cracks on it. I'm checking my lug nuts to make sure that they're not loose. Rust would indicate looseness. I'm checking my axle seal, making sure my axle seal is not leaking. I'm checking my splash guard, make sure that my splash guard is secure. I'm checking my student lights, making sure that they're not discolored or broken. I'm checking my glass, making sure that my glass is not cracked or broken. I'm checking my turn signals, brake lights, backup lights, and tail lights to make sure that all of them are not discolored or dirty or broken. On this side of the bus, we have the fuel tank, and I'm checking, making sure that it's fastened secure, and I'm checking my fuel cap and making sure that the fuel cap is on good. Then I'm going to check my door, making sure that my door opens properly and not broken, fastened secure. I'm checking my steps, making sure that there's no matting that would be up or worn too much that would cause falls. I'm checking my fire extinguisher, making sure my fire extinguisher is full of stuff and plenty of pressure in it. I'm checking my triangle flowers, making sure that they're in place and working. Also, I'm checking my seats, making sure my seats is all fastened secure. There's no cuts or anything that could cause a problem. I'm checking my emergency exit windows from the inside, my roof hatch, and my emergency door. And also, I'm checking my fire extinguisher back here, making sure everything is secure. I'm putting my ignition in my key in my ignition, and I'm going to start the engine and make sure my air pressure is built up. And while my air pressure is building up, I'm going to check all my gauges and my switches. Okay, the windshield wipers, making sure that they're working properly and making sure that the rubbers are not torn to streak the windshield. Okay, my temperature is running about normal on my transmission, and my water temperature is normal for just starting. Okay, my oil pressure is running about 60 psi. That's pretty well normal for idling on this bus. Checking my alternator, making sure that my alternator is charging, which is just a little bit over 14 volts. I'm checking my fuel, making sure my fuel, I've got plenty of fuel, which is a little over a quarter of a tank. Okay, I'm going to check my headlights. Okay, I hit my dimmer switch to indicate my headlight indicator is working on my dimmer switch. Okay, I'm checking my left and right turn signal. Checked right, left, and they're working. Okay, I'm turning my four-way flashers on, and my four-way flashers are working. I'm going to check my horn, make sure my horn works. And I don't have more than 2 inches of slack in my steering wheel. Okay, I'm checking my defroster fan, making sure that it's blowing and working properly. Okay, I'm checking my driver's heater, making sure that it works. I'm checking my rear heater, make sure that it works. My defroster, making sure that it works. I'm checking my heated mirror, the indicator says that it's working. Checking my strobe light, checking my activity light, checking my driver's dome light, and checking the regular dome lights. Okay, I'm going to turn the 8-way lights on, my student lights. Okay. On my caution light on my student lights, I would turn them on approximately 300 to 500 feet from the stop. Okay, when I get to my stop, I would wait till I'm completely stopped, open the door, and then my students would come on or get off. Okay, close. When I turn it off, close the door, it turns the red lights on. Okay, now then, I'm going to turn the key off and turn it on auxiliary and go back and press the button. I've got 1 minute to press the button after I turn the key off for this alarm system on this bus. So I'm going to turn the key on auxiliary at this time and walk back and turn the alarm off. Okay, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the rest of my brake check. I'm going to turn my key on to on position, and I'm going to push the park brake off, and I'm going to sit here for 1 minute, and it shouldn't drop more than 2 psi's in 1 minute. Then I'm going to put my foot on the brake and hold it for 1 minute, and it shouldn't drop more than 3 psi's in 1 minute. Then I'm going to fan my brakes down and to check the to check the brake buzzer and light, and it should kick on approximately 60 psi's. Then I'm going to pump it on down for the park brake to kick on, and it's going to kick on approximately 30 psi's. Then I'm going to start my engine back up and allow the air pressure to build back up. I idle it a little bit fast where the air pressure will build up quickly. When the air pressure builds back up, I'm going to pull the bus into gear and check to see if my park brake holds. Okay, park brake holds. That's the finish of this pre-trip.
On the bus go